Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we are having a look at the Mattel DC Multiverse Batman vs. Superman 6-inch scale figure. Alright you guys, so looking here at the packaging, we have the same look that we had with the armored Batman figure. This figure is also part of the DC Comics Multiverse line, which retails at $19.99 and is more the adult-oriented line of 6-inch figures, since they also do a 6-inch kids line of figures that retail at $9.99. Overall, very nice looking packaging. I like the colors. The image there at the bottom of Superman is pretty cool. It says Batman vs. Superman, and Collect and Connect Grapnel Blast Replica. Side of the box there is quite simple. It says DC Comics Multiverse, and at the bottom it says Batman vs. Superman with the logo. The opposite side gives us the same image there of Superman as we saw at the front. And there's a description at the bottom, which is pretty interesting that they put it on the side. And if you want to pause and read that, feel free to do so. And at the back gives us a little bit about the line right here at the top. If you'd like to pause and read that, feel free to do so. And then it says, collect and connect all 8 figures to build Batman's grapnel blaster. We already have one piece that we looked at that came with the armored Batman. This figure is number 1, it says, so it's going to come with, it looks like a part of a base maybe, as well as what looks to be the handle of the gun. We have a look at other figures in the line. We have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Armored Batman. We've already looked at Armored Batman, and coming soon we're going to do reviews on Batman and Wonder Woman. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the box, get it compared with the Man of Steel 6-inch movie masters that Mattel did for Superman, because it looks pretty similar to me, and then we'll have a better idea of what this figure is like. And gotta say, he does look very, very good, very similar to the Man of Steel 6-inch figure, and I will compare them for you in just a little bit here. Now, like with the Man of Steel figure, you do have to push him forward just a little bit in the upper body to compensate for the extra weight that is created by the cape, because if you don't, the cape will pull him back. The cape itself is the exact same cape that came on the Man of Steel figure, which is kind of a bummer because I've never been a fan of that cape, and I was really hoping they would give us something different with this figure, but unfortunately they did not. Despite that though, the figure itself does look quite good. Give you a close-up here of the head, and it does look very, very good. Mattel did a really good job with this face. It's very similar, once again, to the Man of Steel figure, but it is not the same head. It's a little bit different. The paint on my figure is quite good. The eyes look a little bit different. They don't look 100% the same. Like the black in this eye is a little bit larger, I think, but it really ain't too bad. It's painted quite nicely. The hairline looks quite nice on it. No obvious flaws or anything like that. It does look quite good and is sculpted very nicely as well. The rest of the costume looks quite good. You get the famous S there in the front, and it's textured very nicely. There's kind of a little bit of a reflective quality to the figure's costume. The blue is sort of like a medium to light sort of shade of blue. It's a little bit lighter than the original figure. And you can see the belt right there. Good detail here in the arms, musculature. It's a really nice sculpt. They really did a really good job with this. Legs look good. Some extra red paint here at the top of the boots. That's actually kind of cool. And then underneath there, looks quite nice. And once again, I'm not a huge fan of the cape. You can see where it plugs in there at the back and also here at the front. I think it's glued in. Just not a fan of this. I would have preferred something more neutral, you know, maybe that just came down and wasn't billowing the way that it is, or, you know, even a soft goods cape maybe would have been preferable. I'm just not a fan of this cape. It's heavy and it just kind of a little bit big in my opinion. In the way of articulation, Superman has a ball joint here at the head, and I do find that the head on my Superman is a little bit loose, right? It's loose? Yep, it's loose. He's got ball joints here at both of the shoulders. He's got cuts at both of the biceps. You get your bends at both of the elbows, swivels at the wrists, swivel at the waist, ball hinging at both of the hips, which have a really nice range of movement, at least out to the side they do. You get cuts here at the thighs, bends at the knees, and then bends at both of the ankles. You don't get any weapons or accessories with Superman because, frankly, he don't need them. So that's kind of a bummer, but, you know, what would you possibly give him? Maybe some kryptonite or something. Wouldn't really make sense for him to be having kryptonite in the box with him, but I would have appreciated some sort of accessory or something, maybe even something for Batman, like a gadget or something like that. For the Build-A-Weapon piece, we get this item right here. It's basically a handle for the grapnel gun, and what looks to be a permanently attached base or part of a base at the bottom. I'm trying to get it out, but it wiggles a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it comes out, unless I'm just not doing it hard enough. I don't want to break it. I'm going to have to look this up and see if it even comes out. It should, I would hope. I mean, if it doesn't, that's kind of a bummer because you're going to have a grapnel gun that's permanently attached to a base. But as you can see, it's a pretty good size. I got my hand around it. It'd be about the size of an actual grapnel gun if it were a real thing. And, I mean, it doesn't look super fancy. It does look very plasticky, but, they did give it sort of like a wood grain impression. I mean, it looks okay. Some metal right there. So really looking forward to getting the rest of this built. And now it's time for my favorite part of the review, the comparison. And we're comparing the new Batman vs. Superman DC Multiverse 6-inch Superman with the Man of Steel Movie Masters 6-inch Superman. And, very similar but different. I've been looking at these two closely, and as far as I can tell, the only parts that they share are going to be the arms and the cape. Everything else is brand new. The torsos are new, the legs are new, but I mean, other than that, very similar. The coloration is obviously quite different. There are some noticeable differences in the decorations of the costume. Like you can see there's a square belt buckle on this one, whereas this one, I don't even know if it has a belt, but it's different. And the pattern is a little bit different on the sides as well. The head sculpts are pretty similar, but they're not the same. I don't know which one I would say is better. I think maybe the one on the right looks a little bit more accurate, perhaps. It's kind of hard to say. They both have their own strengths. This one's painted very nicely and has a more natural skin tone, which is pretty cool. This one's a little more glossy. I think I like the new one a little bit better. It looks more like Superman to me. This one looks more like a guy dressed as Superman. But again, the capes are exactly the same, which is a huge bummer. And if we're comparing the heights between the two, and the one here on the right's a little bit hard to stand because he just is. The new Batman vs. Superman one's a smidge taller, and it's not just because I have this one in a weird position. It actually is a little bit taller. The legs are a little bit longer as far as the thighs go. A little bit longer, but very similar. If you already have the Man of Steel version, I don't think you necessarily need to have the Batman vs. Superman one, but I like it better. I do like the deeper blue though of the original, but this one is actually pretty nice how it has a little bit more of a sheen to it. It's not so shiny like that one. So I mean, overall, I think I do prefer this guy right here. I can't stand you, Superman. Actually, I can't stand it all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Mattel DC Multiverse Batman vs. Superman 6-inch scale Superman figure. Overall, you guys, I gotta say, it's a pretty nice figure. It's got a very nice likeness. It's very nicely painted. The costume looks really good. I really like the reflective quality that it has about it, while it also maintains a very nice sculpt. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the cape, but the figure itself is quite nice. Plenty of articulation, and he actually stands, which is very, very, very important. If you already have the very first Superman, like I said, you don't necessarily need this one, but you're probably going to get it anyway. And if you do, I applaud you because I do think it is a little bit better than the original. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I'm going to go ahead and give this one 4 stars. It's a very solid figure. Could be a little bit better if it had a nicer cape, but all things considered, I am quite happy with it. All right, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Superman figure, whether or not you're going to be picking him up. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Stay tuned, guys. There's more Batman vs. Superman to come. Until next time, bye-bye.